Raiders fan, something interesting is brewing, and you'll want to hear this. Today's story might raise some eyebrows. Yes, we're talking about a surprising name being linked to the Las Vegas Raiders, Keenan Allen. That's right, the longtime Chargers star. The rumor alone is enough to spark some serious debate. But before we dive into the latest buzz, let's make sure you never miss out on updates like this. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and don't forget to tap the bell icon so you're always first in line for breaking Raiders news. Alright, let's jump back into it. So, here's what's happening. Reports from multiple outlets, including Yardbarker, are stirring up the idea that the Raiders might be eyeing Keenan Allen. They suggest he could be a strong addition before training camp, which usually kicks off in late July. Now, if you're like most Raiders fans, your first reaction might be, wait, Keenan Allen? In silver and black? Yeah, we get it. It sounds wild, but rumors like this can sometimes grow legs, and while it's just talk for now, it tells us something deeper. The Raiders may still be hunting for a veteran presence at wide receiver. Stay with me, because there's more to unpack in this story. Keenan Allen's name keeps circling around the Raiders, and it's not by accident. Back in March and right through the NFL draft, his connection to the Raiders sparked a lot of conversation. Why? Because this isn't just random chatter. There are real ties between Allen and people inside the Raiders organization, connections that make this rumor feel a little more real than most. A recent article by Yardbarker laid it out clearly. If the Raiders want to deepen their wide receiver room, Allen could be a strong fit. But here's where it gets interesting. The Raiders just drafted 3 new receivers in 2025, Jack Bes, Dante Thornton Jr., and Tommy Mallow. On top of that, they already have Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and a long list of other names competing for spots. Oh, and don't forget star tight end Brock Bowers, who led the team with an impressive 1,194 receiving yards last season. So, where does that leave Keenan Allen? It's a fair question. Some fans are all in, thinking his experience and route running could give the offense an edge. Others say it's time to trust the youth and see what the rookies can bring before spending on a veteran. Honestly, I'm leaning toward patience. Let's see how these young guys perform. Training camp is still weeks away, and there's time to evaluate. If the current squad doesn't step up, that's when you look outside. But to be fair, this situation has 2 sides, and next, we're going to break down both the reasons for and against signing Keenan Allen. One of the biggest reasons this Keenan Allen rumor won't go away. Coaching ties. In the NFL, relationships matter, especially in building a roster. And Allen shares a strong connection with Chris Beatty, the current wide receivers coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. The two worked together for years with the Chargers, and that bond didn't stop there. When Beatty moved to Chicago, Allen followed. That kind of loyalty and familiarity says a lot. Now, think about what Allen still brings to the table. Even though he's not in his prime anymore, he continues to produce. Last season, he hauled in 70 catches for 744 yards in just 15 games. The year before, over 100 receptions. That's not just solid, it's dependable. He became a trusted target for young quarterback Caleb Williams with the Bears, showing he can still be a go-to guy when it counts. His route running? Sharp as ever. Allen might not burn defenders with speed, but he knows how to get open and move the chains, qualities that every team needs, especially one developing a new offensive identity. Some also argue he could be a great fit in the current Raiders offense. If you've got a quarterback who values precision and timing, Allen's style is exactly what complements that. He's not flashy, but he's smart, experienced, and reliable. Still, does that mean the Raiders should go after him right now? Let's break down the case both for and against, and what it could mean for the silver and black. Bringing in a veteran like Keenan Allen could help the Raiders build chemistry early, giving the offense a head start before the real action kicks off in August and September. The sooner a receiver connects with the quarterback, the smoother things run when it counts. But here's something fans might not know. Keenan Allen is a lifelong Raiders fan. That might seem like a small detail, but it matters. Playing for the team you've supported since childhood? That kind of dream brings out an extra level of passion and effort. You don't jog routes, you fight for every yard. And if Allen ever puts on the silver and black, you can bet he'd give everything he's got. Still, despite the upside, there are good reasons to pause. First off, age and durability. Allen has missed 11 games over the last 3 seasons. That's not a major red flag, but it's enough to raise questions. The Raiders are building something new, likely with a 2 to 3 year vision. If that's the timeline, is a short-term veteran the right fit? Then there's another issue: run blocking. According to league evaluations, Allen's run-blocking performance last season was among the worst at his position. That's not a stat you can ignore, especially for a team that wants to stay versatile and unpredictable. Put Allen on the field, and defenses might immediately expect a pass. The Raiders are working to shape an offense that can do it all: pass, run, and adapt on the fly. Players like Brock Bowers, Jakobi Meyers, Jack Bes, and Trey Tucker aren't just good receivers, they're willing blockers too. And that kind of balance might make a difference when deciding who truly fits this evolving offense. Next up, we'll break down what this all means for the team's bigger picture. There's another angle to this Keenan-Allen debate, and it's a big one: team chemistry and locker room respect. Let's say the Raiders suddenly sign Allen and hand him a decent paycheck. How do you think that feels to a guy like Jakobi Meyers, someone who's already proven himself on the field and in the locker room, and who hasn't gotten a contract extension yet? Jakobi is the kind of player who shows up, puts in work, and keeps the drama low. But make no mistake, he's a leader. If anyone deserves a new deal, it's him. Giving Allen a chunk of money before taking care of someone like Meyers could cause quiet frustration among players. And when you're trying to build a team-first culture, those moves matter more than people realize. Then there's the question of investment timing. If the Raiders are serious about developing a young core, why rush to spend millions on a short-term veteran? The team already has a group of young, exciting receivers who need reps. Jack Bes, Dante Thornton Jr., and Tommy Mellott all bring different skills to the table, and don't sleep on Kyle Phillips, who could end up being a surprise contributor this season. Right now is the time to test these guys. The more they connect with Geno Smith in the offseason, the more we'll learn about their potential. Do they have what it takes to make plays on Sunday? Or are they just hype? You only find out by putting them on the field and letting them run. Honestly, Jack Bes alone could be a game-changer in this discussion. If he emerges as a legit target, the Raiders may have their answer, and Allen might not even be needed. In short, before making a move, this team needs to know what it already has. And with so much young talent waiting for their moment, this might be the season to let the future shine. Let's shift the spotlight to one of the most underrated players in the Raiders camp right now, Jack Bes. Now, there's been talk floating around from a few media outlets claiming that Trey Tucker is a locked-in starter next to Jakobi Meyers. Respectfully, I have to push back on that. Anyone who's really been following the Raiders closely, who's seen what's happening in camp, knows that story might be missing something big. Because Jack Bes is making noise. He's not just showing flashes, he's consistently performing. In fact, if the season started today, I believe Bes would line up as the number 2 receiver behind Meyers. That's right, ahead of Trey Tucker. Why? It's not just about his hands or route running, though he's solid in both areas. It's about his all-around game. Bes brings toughness. He's not afraid to block, to get physical, to take on a linebacker, or open up a lane on the edge. That kind of grit? Coaches love it. And let's be real, so do fans. Now don't get me wrong, Trey Tucker is fast, and he has talent. But in terms of complete receivers, Bes is showing he's got the edge right now. He's playing like a guy who wants to earn every snap, not just rely on potential or draft status. If you ask me, the top 3 passing game targets heading into the season are starting to look clear. Brock Bowers as the top weapon, Jakobi Meyers as the number 1 receiver. And yes, Jack Bes climbing into that number 3 overall target role. That's not just a prediction. That's what the momentum is telling us. Let's talk about momentum. And right now, Jack Bes is carrying a ton of it inside Raiders camp. While some analysts are debating who the number 3 option might be in this offense, inside the building it's becoming clear. Bech is climbing and fast. There's a growing sense among coaches and insiders that he might be the true breakout player of this rookie class, not just for his skill set, but for his mentality. They're calling him a sicko, a dog in the best possible way. He's got that gritty, violent Raider edge, the kind of mindset this organization is desperate to build around. He's not waiting for opportunities. He's demanding them. Here's why it matters. When you have a player like Bech flashing this early with that kind of physicality and work ethic, it changes the conversation around veterans like Keenan Allen. It's not about whether Allen is talented. He absolutely is. But Allen is 34. He's managing his health. He's not fighting like it's his last shot. Bech is, and you see it on tape. Last season in college, Bech had a 74.5 PFF run blocking grade, ranking 13th among all Power 5 receivers. That's not just solid, that's elite for a young wideout. And when the Raiders talk about building a violent, physical team, that stat matters. Right now, the coaches are watching Bech closely, and unless that level drops in June or early July, there may be no reason at all to bring in an aging receiver like Allen. If Bech keeps dominating, the Raiders will ride with their rookie. So, where does he slot in? Let's call it like this. Bowers, the top target. Jakobi Meyers, WR1. Ashton Jeanty, lead back and a huge part of the offense, and Jack Bes. He's becoming the 4th weapon in a surprisingly deep offensive unit. Now, realistically, what might we expect from Bech in his first season? If he keeps trending upward, something like 43 catches, 600-plus yards, and 4 touchdowns feels right. That's solid output for a rookie who's not even being crowned as a top pick, but might just end up being one of the most important players on this offense. Bottom line? The Raiders are watching Bech, so should everyone else.